COVID-19 tracking of cases in JavaScript and PHP with biometric scan report. Abstract. As the COVID-19 is widespread over the world, with its disturbing storm of influenced cases all through the world, lockdown and mindfulness among individuals are found to be the as it implied for limiting the community transmission. In a thickly populated nation like India, it is exceptionally troublesome to anticipate the community transmission indeed amid lockdown without social mindfulness and prudent measures taken by the individuals. As of late, a few control zones had been distinguished all through the nation and separated into white, orange, and green zone, separately. In this report, the white zones show the contamination hotspots, orange zones signify a few diseases, and green zones demonstrate a zone with no disease. We'll be explaining biometric advances for mindfulness and safety measure reason and how they can be utilized to diminish the rate of cases. A biometric framework may be an innovation able of distinguishing an individual from an advanced unique mark from a still source. There are numerous strategies in which biometric work, but in common, they work by comparing chosen highlights from given print with the thumb as well as comparing the unique mark inside a database. Utilizing this application we'll attempt to get to control, recognizable proof framework, and low requirement applications. This innovation is utilized in numerous areas such as biometrics for distinguishing proof, afterward which is clarified in our venture. Keywords: COVID-19 tracking of cases, JavaScript and PHP, by using GeoPlugin API, web development and design. Introduction. COVID-19 is one of the most noteworthy widespreading issues all over the world. In this widespread time, the World Wellbeing Organization partitioned the COVID cases into 3 zones as ruddy, orange, and green zones. Through this, the ruddy zone means the passing cases, the orange zone means recouping cases, and the green zone implies the recuperated cases all over the nations. Due to the expanding cases day by day, the individuals offer assistance to battle against the corona by solidarity. In this study, we are building the COVID-19 tracker of all the cases all around the world by JavaScript and PHP by using the GeoPlugin API in web development and design. In this following framework, the COVID cases are isolated into 3 control zones as white means total cases, orange means total deaths, and green zones imply recovered cases which are represented as a statistical form. Recently in India, begin companies, schools, and colleges at their working places. This working situations require several required things as a sanitizer, a suitable N95 mask, and the COVID report. So, with the assistance of PHP, the dataset collects from the Sriji Government General Hospital, which has a COVID report of 200 patients, appears the corona test details like title, lab ID, SRF no, age, date, result, address, etc., which shown through the biometric scan. 2. Literature survey. In this paper 1, the author uses the AI-based, neurofuzzy rule-based system, FRBS, is classified as a computational artificial intelligence that is based on the fuzzy concept. In this, the dataset used in the study contains March 27 to July 28, 2020 between the dates announced by the Ministry of Health Turkey verified information. Finding 1. The number of daily cases in Turkey was estimated by the FRBS method. As a result of the consideration, it was seen that the number of daily cases can be evaluated successfully. In this paper 2, the Gaussian process regression, GPR, approach has been used to build the model, and its performance was compared with the corresponding artificial neural network, AN, model. The modeling approaches have been applied on daily updated data provided by the WHO situation reports. The dataset is comprehensive and up to date. Finding 2, in machine learning, the best forecasting model, GPR, and unsupervised based methods show the impact of age, the number of smokers and several diabetic patients on the rising number of deaths due to this highly contagious disease, COVID-19, is examined with the help of N network. In this paper 3, the Box-Jenkins model is an autoregressive integrated moving average, ARIMA, model and is the foremost common time arrangement, prediction model. ARIMA is the numerical guideline of estimating to anticipate the number of future contaminations depending on existing numbers. Finding 3, with the number of positively confirmed cases with COVID-19 in Iraq, it can be noticed that there are increasing numbers and the series is unstable. In this designing structure, the work is partitioned into 4 parts which have diverse working completely different zones but interconnect to each other. As for the imperative data giving or getting concerning corona, CEI will interface and offer assistance their concerns, through the authorized members as giving the COVID report by means of biometric print. A. For building the COVID-19 status of all the cases all around the world by JavaScript and PHP by using the GeoPlugin API in web development and design. In this following framework, the COVID cases are isolated into 3 control zones as white means total cases, orange means total deaths, and green zones imply recovered cases which are represented as a statistical form. When the user enter into the page the GeoPlugin, and type of API which is used for find the IP address of the user and return the user country code, getting the country code of the user and then use the array called country list to find the country name based on the country code. After getting the nation code from the user, at that point with the use of the array we called the country list to discover the country title based on the country code. With the help of country list dataset the country code generate which display the country name. The GeoPlugin used to add the script function which return the country codes and then with the help of for each function, the country code will be checked if it's same as we get from API GeoPlugin. The corona cases data collect from January 2020 to April 2021. Finally the country name sent to the API and get all the statistics to the user as shown in Fig 3. B. CEI implementation. CEI stands for Corona Emergency Information which use the imperative data giving or getting concerning corona. CEI will interface and offer assistance their concerns. The local user feed the information in the website which store into the database. By the use of this, the authorized member resolves the concern of users to corona which is educated by the admin from the database. In this database the fundamental data will feed into the biometric database so, the individual COVID report will be effortlessly identified. See Biometric Scan Implementation. This biometric innovations for mindfulness and precaution reasons and how they can be utilized to diminish the rate of cases. A biometric framework could be an innovation able of distinguishing a person's COVID points of interest from an advanced unique finger impression from a still source. Biometric as the special key confirmation of personality, which checks coordinate against the spared database to endorse the COVID positive patients. The dataset collect from the Hrishika Government General Hospital which has a COVID report of 200 patients appears the corona test details like title, lab ID, SRF no, age, date, result, address, etc. which shown through the biometric scan. Data.png. Fig 3. Hrishika Government General Hospital. When the user start to scan the biometric the protocol engine activated and send the callback URL to the cloud server through communication packets. This protocol engine is responsible for receiving and sending data to the cloud systems and the biometric device. In this, the callback URL is used for communication from the device to our server which exposes the URL at our server which will be a callback. After that, the virtual server, cloud system, sends to the database via RESTful URL. Finally, the database read compares the biometric through the Aadhaar card and throw back the output to the user. For result and discussion. The important motive of this website is to provide a COVID-19 report with the help of biometric print as well as the COVID status in the form of a statistics graph. This project is to provide the COVID report with the biometric on emergency need. The COVID-19 status are represented by statistically method with white, orange, and green zone and with the IP address each country will change their country status accordingly. In the performance evaluation, the project followed all the assessments of the performance shown in the table. In the area of improvement, this can change or add their data accordingly to the updating time as well as the further addition as face recognition verification type can also apply in the future. V. A few control zones had been distinguished all through the nation and separated into white, orange, and green zone, separately. In this report, the white zones show the contamination hotspots, orange zones signify a few diseases, and green zones demonstrate a zone with no disease. We'll be explaining biometric advances for mindfulness and safety measure reason and how they can be utilized to diminish the rate of cases. Highly successful, overall weighted average of execution is greater than 4.5/5. In authorized member, the admin gives the sign-in details for taking the biometric of nearby clients and get the client COVID-19 report is in case it displays within the database. In CEI page the essential information like regarding corona cases, corona report, and other emergency information are gathered and stored into database, then work on it. The overall result of this website is to provide a COVID-19 report with the help of biometric print as well as the COVID status in the form of a statistics graph. This project is to provide the COVID report with the biometric on emergency need.